Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Precious Metal Summit 2021 in Zurich. Unfortunately virtual, but at least we are able to do interviews with participating companies. And we want to talk now for the first time with AbraSilver. And John Miniotis is the CEO of the company. Welcome and good morning to the USA, to beautiful Florida. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. I know it's quite early for you, but even better that you took the time. AbraSilver, maybe you can give us a short overview on the company. Where are you working? What are you doing?
Of course, I'd be happy to. So AbraSilver is an emerging silver and gold exploration company with quite an advanced stage asset. Our key asset is called Diablillos. It's in a very mining-friendly part of Argentina called the Salta province, which is well known for mining overall. We have quite an advanced stage resource. So we just updated our resource estimate back in September of this year, so a few months ago now. And we announced that we have 1 million ounces of gold, 90 million ounces of silver, all within a pit-constrained resource, close to surface. This is an open pittable resource with very good grades. So your average grades are about 1.7 grams per ton gold, which is quite high. So we've been busy.
Is it gold or gold equivalent?
That's gold equivalent, sorry. Yeah. So the project is about 55% of the revenues will come from silver, 45% from gold. So it's a nice breakdown between both those precious metals. And we've been busy drilling. So we've been drilling here continuously now for almost 2 years. Of course, we announced our updated resource recently, but importantly, we're continuing to drill with our phase 2 program. And again, continue to have excellent success. So we've announced a number of high-grade intercepts over incredible widths. So continue to grow the project, advance it forward. And we feel this is one of the few projects, especially on the silver side, primary silver projects that can come into production or where you can have a positive construction decision, I would say, within the next 2 years. And so we're quickly moving this project forward, advancing it, and looking to make a construction decision in the not too distant future.
Okay, super. So as far as I saw in your PEA, you want to publish in Q4, and your PEA in your presentation, you want to publish in Q4 a PEA. So when shall that happen? Because the quarter has only 6 weeks left.
That's right. So we're finalizing the PEA study as we speak, and we expect that will be announced before the end of November. So within a couple of weeks from now, we will have the updated PEA. And that's based on the updated resource estimate that we announced back in September.
Okay, super. If you would categorize your project a little bit, let's say, in the peer group, where do you see your project? Where do you see real competitive advantages?
Yeah. So this is one of the few open pittable primary silver projects. And as I mentioned, there's a high gold component as well. And so on a comparable basis, it's always easier to compare it to other open pittable oxide gold projects, I would say. And there's a number of those in the Americas. We actually have a slide on that in our presentation. But where we sit, if you look at this from a gold perspective, is we have 2.2 million ounces gold equivalent, open pittable. But it's certainly one of the highest grade open pittable oxide, gold projects, if you will. So it's 1.7 grams per ton gold equivalent. And that's more than double, I'd say, the average peer group grades. So this is a high margin project, very good scale. And also on a silver perspective as well, of course. I mean, we have over 165 million ounces in silver equivalent. And these are all within the measured and indicated category. And again, as I mentioned, importantly, that continues to grow. So we're continuing to have phenomenal exploration success, looking to announce another updated resource estimate next year. And again, we're expecting, very, very good growth here.
Super. So with the updated resource, that might be then your phase 2 drilling program, where then all the new, let's say, samples analysis will fit in then, right?
That's right. Yeah. So the phase 2 program is 3 primary targets. So we're drilling for shallow gold. So looking again to improve the strip ratio even further. That's very important. So we're essentially converting waste into gold. We're also targeting the Tesoro zone, where we've had incredible success. So if you look at our drill results over the last 2 years, we have 4 of the top 12 best intercepts globally on the silver side. And all 4 of those have come from the Tesoro zone. So this is a very high grade zone, both high grade gold and silver close to surface. Starts about 100 meters below surface. And so we're drilling the Tesoro zone, looking to expand that. And then also importantly, we're drilling towards the northeast, which is not included in the current resource estimate. So there'll be potentially a new resource here on the northeast zone, which is not yet included in the current resource estimate. So lots of opportunities to continue to grow this.
Okay, super. As you spoke already about strip ratio, I saw in your presentation the previous block model from 2018 had a limited shallow mineralization. Then you have done a new block model this year with substantial expansion of shallow mineralization. I could imagine this is very important because your strip ratio was 3.7 to 1, which is, let's say, a little bit on the higher end at that time. Where do you want to get the strip ratio, or what do you think might be possible with the new block model? Can you elaborate this, please, for us?
Yes, yeah. So that's very important to the economics, and of course, will be this will be mentioned in the PEA study, of course. But based on the resource that we announced in September, back in 2018, that resource had a pre-strip of about 30 million tons. So you had to remove 30 million tons of waste, which costs about $90 million in capital costs. The current, based on the shallow drilling that we've undertaken over the past year and a half, have been very successful. That waste, tons of waste, instead of 30 million tons, is now less than 15 million tons. So we cut down that waste by more than half. So it's about 14.5 million tons of waste now to get to the underlying ore body. So that's a savings of about $45 million in capital costs. That's very, very significant. Overall, the project had an estimated capital cost of about $300 million. So that's a very significant savings. And of course, we'll be coming out with more details in the upcoming PEA study. But yeah, 3.7 is now the current strip ratio based on the updated resource. But we're continuing to drill and having great success, especially towards the west in terms of drilling shallow holes. So we see that in future years, again, continuing to improve.
Okay, great. Do you have also maybe in the future underground potential?
We do. Yeah, the northeast zone where we're drilling, we've intersected several very high grade intercepts. That's mostly a gold rich area. So we're intersecting significant targets of over 3.5 grams of just gold. And so that has potential to be a standalone sort of underground operation that could run in parallel with the existing resource, which is we call the Oculto zone. So the Oculto zone is open pittable, very high margin, but you also have very high gold grades towards the northeast. And that could be a underground project that runs sort of in parallel. So that's exciting. And that's what we'll have an update on, I guess, next year as we complete the phase 2 drill program and announce hopefully a resource on the northeast zone.
Fantastic. Okay, then as you are working in Salta province in Argentina, which is quite famous, I would say, for lithium for sure. Yeah, we know several companies there like Millennial Lithium, Neo Lithium, etc., and they're all be taken over now. But also we know it's a higher elevation and more on the dry side. So what is there a water issue, or is water fine for you? And also I saw in your presentation that you have excellent access to infrastructure. Please elaborate on your infrastructure and the water.
That's right. Yeah. So we benefit significantly from having all these lithium projects as our neighbors. As you mentioned, I mean, they're being acquired at the moment. So there's literally billions of dollars pouring into Salta. And so, Neo Lithium is being acquired, Millennial Lithium is being acquired. One of our neighbors, POSCO, is spending about $500 million building their lithium project. And that's quite advanced. And then importantly, last year, Fortuna Silver completed construction at Lindero as well. And that cost over $300 million. So Salta is attracting foreign capital, which is obviously great to see. And we feel Diablillos will be sort of one of the next projects to enter the construction stage. But in terms of access to infrastructure, I mean, we have all-weather gravel roads that take you right up to site. There's a nearby airstrip as well that's being built now for the POSCO's sort of project, which we could use down the road, is our understanding. There's natural gas pipeline within 35 kilometers of our project. There's discussions by the Salta government is going to fund another pipeline. They'll come even closer to our project. And then in terms of water, we've done significant water well drilling this year and had excellent results. So we'll have, there's plenty of subterranean water, and we'll have those details in the PEA study. But we see no risks in terms of infrastructure. I mean, this is an ideal location.
Great. You have a 1% NSR and remaining property payment of $7 million due to EMX royalty in 2025. Please explain that to us also. And do you have any other NSRs or liabilities on the property?
There are no other NSRs on the property other than the 1% NSR. So this project used to be owned by Silver Standard at the time. Now they're called SSR Mining. And so our predecessor company acquired this from SSR back in 2016. And SSR had retained a 1% NSR and that $7 million payment, which would be due in about 4 years' time from now. And SSR recently sold a package of all their royalties and other sort of payments that they own to EMX Royalties. So now EMX is the owner of that royalty, and we're very happy to be, I guess, future partners with them. And we have plenty of cash in the bank, so $20 million of cash in the bank with a number of warrants as well that are in the money. And so we're very well funded to make that $7 million payment in 4 years' time. And then once this is up and running, there'd be a 1% NSR as well.
Great. As we are talking already about money, because it would be also one of my questions, you said it already, 20 million Canadian dollars in cash. What do you think you could get into the Treasury from warrants and options exercise approximately? What do you expect?
Over the next 2 years, we have over $30 million of warrants that are in the money. So it's quite a substantial amount. So we're fully funded to get to that construction decision point, which is our sort of key goal at this stage within the next 2 years. So by the end of 2023, we'd like to have a feasibility study completed, permits in place. And this is a project where you can make then a construction decision. And we're fully funded to get there with the existing cash we have on hand. And of course, with the warrants, it's more than enough, I would say. So not looking to do any financings anytime in the near future to advance Diablillos forward. So we're fully funded, which I think is very important to highlight.
These times, anyhow, very important. Who are your largest shareholders? I saw Eric Sprott has 15%. Who else is in and what has management and board?
Yes. Yeah. So Eric Sprott is 15%. He became a shareholder in the company last year. He led our last 2 financings for us. SSR Mining continues to own about 9% of the company. So I mentioned they sold the project to us several years ago. And now we have a number of institutional investors as well. So I'd say over 25% of our shares are in the hands of institutional investors. And so that's changed radically. So whereas 2 years ago, we were just sort of retail investors only, I would say. Now I'd say well over 25% conservatively is in the hands of various institutional funds. And so, yeah, we've been busy marketing. I mean, pitching the story to a number of new prospective shareholders. And so that's been sort of, with great success. In terms of management, we have a very, very lean team. And overall, we own just over 3% of the company. And so it's myself or sort of our chief geologist, and then various board members as well. So those hands, again, are in just a handful of people that own, a good size position in the company, I would say.
Okay, super. So maybe one last word also on your other projects. I see you have 2 more projects in Argentina, La Colpita and Aguas Perdidas in Argentina, and you have the Arcas project and Antofagasta, Chile. And I see here already a nice name blinking up with the project in Chile, Rio Tinto. So you have a joint venture with them or earn in interest?
Yeah. So we own 100% of the Arcas project, and we brought in Rio Tinto as a partner. So they have an earn-in, right? So they have an option to earn up to 75% in this project by spending $25 million. So they've just completed, I believe, their phase 1 drill program there, about 2,000 meters. We're waiting back for the initial results from that. So of course, as soon as we receive that, we'll announce that. But importantly, I mean, we're very excited about our La Cuepita project in San Juan. We think this has tremendous upside potential, which is not being valued in the current share price. So we spent a long time consolidating this massive land package. It's over 70,000 hectares in the San Juan province, which again is a very mining-friendly province in Argentina. And we'll be drilling this ourselves by the end of this month. And so we're going to undertake about a 3,000-meter drill program there. Historically, there's been some very exciting results. And the holes, there's only been a handful of holes in the past. They've only gone down to about 200 meters or so. And so we're looking to extend that mineralization and see if we can encounter sort of a mega copper gold sort of porphyry target, close to surface ideally.
Super, but that is more for the future value drivers, I would say, because now your focus is on Diablillos, right?
100%. Yes. Yeah. Diablillos is by far sort of our main asset, but this is an earlier stage pipeline of projects, hopefully, that we continue to advance. I mean, these are very early stage, so much higher risk, of course. There's no existing resource there, but we'll be drilling that and see if we're able to make a discovery on those other projects as well.
Fantastic. Super. John, thank you very much for your time. Great interview and great insight into your company. I really have to do some more due diligence. That really interests me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
We look forward to your PEA, of course, soon.
Excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Precious Metal Summit, AbraSilver. You heard it. Very interesting company. Fully located here in Argentina. Fantastic resources already with silver and gold. Also over $20 million cash in the bank, and a further $30 million are makeable, or let's say possible to get from warrants and options here within the next 2 years. And I must say, quite impressive here. Eric Sprott owns 15% and a lot more institutions over 25%, management and board with 3% on it. And stay tuned. Within the next 2, probably 3 weeks, the PEA comes out, and I look also forward to really see that news. So maybe you should have a good look into AbraSilver. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.